My ex-girlfriend said, I gave your apartment key to my new boyfriend. He needs a place to crash sometimes. I replied, interesting decision. Then I had the locks changed that afternoon while she was at work. When she and her new boyfriend showed up at midnight with their bags and couldn't get in, everything I thought I understood about boundaries, decency, and whatever scraps of goodwill we had left just collapsed in front of me. I'm Daniel, 29, and honestly, I'm still trying to process every bit of this because even writing out feels like retelling a hallucination. 2 weeks earlier, Melissa and I had broken up. A clean breakup, or so I believed. No shouting, no plates thrown, no ultimatums. We just sat on the couch one night and admitted it wasn't working anymore. She'd been staying at my apartment for about 8 months, gradually moving her stuff in without ever officially moving in. If that makes sense. I never asked her to pay rent or go on the lease because at the time, it felt too serious, and then later, too awkward to bring up. We thought we were being mature. We thought we were handling the end of a relationship like adults. When she packed a few things and said she would stay with her co-worker Kristen while she looked for a new place, I even told her, take your time, no rush. Yeah, that was mistake number one. Or maybe mistake number one was assuming Melissa knew what boundaries were. That afternoon, I was working from home, buried under spreadsheets, when my phone buzzed with her message. FYI, I gave your apartment key to my boyfriend. He needs a place to crash sometimes, and I still have stuff there. So it makes sense. I honestly stared at my screen long enough for my computer to go to sleep. Her boyfriend. The boyfriend I didn't know existed until that moment. The boyfriend she apparently acquired in a span of 14 days. A guy I had never met. And she'd given him my key, my actual apartment key, without asking me, without checking, without any sense of reality. Interesting decision. I texted back because anger wasn't even the dominant emotion. It was disbelief. She replied, don't be weird about it. It's practical. Practical. That was her word. Like this was a group project and we were all sharing resources. Something in my brain shifted. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just went ice cold. I looked up an emergency locksmith. Paid extra to get him here sooner, and by late afternoon, I had brand new locks on both the handle and deadbolt. 3 shiny keys. The locksmith even looked at me and went, Breakup? I nodded. He nodded back like he'd seen this movie 100 times. I didn't text Melissa, didn't warn her, didn't give her a forward or supportive message about communication. She'd made her choice. I was making mine. Around midnight. I was half asleep when I heard it. The scraping of a key jamming into a lock that no longer recognized it. Then more scraping. Then voices. Babe, are you sure this is right? A guy asked. Yes, I'm sure, Melissa snapped. Just wiggle it. The scraping turned into frantic metal-on-metal violence. Then pounding. Hard pounding. I got out of bed, walked to the door, and looked through the peephole. Melissa stood there with 2 huge duffel bags. Next to her was this tall guy with a man bun and cargo backpack, looking like he regretted every decision that led him to this doorstep. The pounding intensified. I know you're in there. Melissa yelled, open the door. I sighed, unlocked the chain, and opened the door just enough to see them clearly without letting them in. Melissa's expression went from frustration to fury. The key doesn't work, she said, accusation dripping from every syllable. Did you change the locks? Yeah, I said calmly. Why would you let USIN? No, I said, not happening. What do you mean, no? Melissa shouted, I have my stuff here. And you can get it, I said, tomorrow. Reasonable hours. Man Bun stepped forward like he had authority in my building. Dude, this is messed up, he said, puffing out his chest. She lives here. I blinked at him. And you are. I'm her boyfriend, he said, with this tone like that should matter to me. We're both tired. We need to sleep. She doesn't live here, I said. Never did legally. And you definitely don't. Melissa lost it. You can't do this. You can't just lock me out. I gave him a key so he could use the place and so I could come get things. You gave my key to a random guy, I said. That's why you're locked out. He's not random. He's my boyfriend. Same thing from where I'm standing. Man Bun tried to handle again like I hadn't literally explained the situation. Don't touch my door, I said. Or what? He smirked. You gonna call the cops? So I pulled out my phone and started dialing. Melissa's panic kicked in instantly. Wait. Okay, we'll go, she said, her voice cracking into this dramatic desperation. But I'm getting my stuff tomorrow morning. First thing, text me a time between 9 and 6. I said, I'll have everything packed in the lobby. The lobby? She screamed. Yep, I said. You're not coming inside. You're such an asshole. Probably, I said, but I also didn't hand my apartment key to someone I met 2 weeks ago. Man Bun tugged her arm, annoyed. Come on, babe, he muttered. Let's go. They stomped down the hallway, arguing the whole time. I locked the door, slid a chair under the handle because paranoia is cheap insurance, and went back to bed. And honestly, I slept like a rock. Morning came with her blowing up my phone. No greetings, no apologies, just entitlement. I need my stuff now. Pick a time, I replied. I'm coming now. I have a key. No, I replied. You don't. Calls. More calls. Another number. Probably Man Bun. Ignored. Then her mother texted me from yet another number, saying she'd be involved. Great. At 10 a.m., they all arrived. Melissa, Man Bun, and her mother, Patricia, who had the energy of a courtroom drama villain. I had 4 boxes stacked neatly in the lobby. Clothes, makeup, personal items, some books, and her essential oil diffuser, because I'm petty but not cruel. The building security guard, a big guy named Frank, stood nearby watching. You have nerve, her mother said the second she saw me, locking my daughter out of her home. Good morning, I said. Her stuff's right here. She has rights, Patricia barked. You can't evict someone without notice. I showed her a photo of my lease with only my name on it. Frank backed me up immediately. Ma'am, he said, if her name isn't on the lease, she has no legal standing here. Melissa tore through the boxes aggressively, like she was hoping to find something missing so she could accuse me of theft. Where's my Sephora bag? Where's my straightener? Where's my work blazer? Box 3, box 4, box 2. I said. She opened them and found everything exactly where I said it was. That seemed to make her madder. Patricia insisted on inspecting my apartment, which was laughable. Absolutely not, I said. You're not a tenant, and neither is she. I know the law. Patricia screamed. I'm a real estate agent. Then you should know how leases work, I said. Frank nearly choked trying not to laugh. Melissa suddenly burst into furious tears. You made me homeless, she cried. You told me you had your co-worker's place. I said, she's out of town. Not my problem. Yes, it is, she screamed. Because we were together, you owe me. We broke up, I said, 2 weeks ago. Man Bun looked like he wanted to evaporate. Babe, he muttered. Can we just go? Please. Your place is a dump. Melissa snapped at him, and I saw the exact moment he regretted defending her. Patricia kept yelling about financial abuse, which was bizarre considering Melissa never paid rent, utilities, or anything else. Frank finally stepped in. Time to go, he said calmly. They left, angry, loud, dramatic, and I thought that was the end. It wasn't. That afternoon she texted, You're going to pay for this. I replied, Have your lawyer contact my landlord. I never heard back on that. Instead, 2 days later, cops knocked on my door. Sir, one said, we got a report of an illegal lockout. I explained everything. Showed the lease. Showed the text. The cops exchanged a look that practically said, We drove here for this? You're fine, the older cop said. She was never a tenant. Call us if she comes back. The younger cop added, Get a camera? Situations like this often escalate. He wasn't wrong. A couple nights later, my phone pinged. Motion detected. I opened the camera feed, and there they were again, Melissa and Man Bun, drunk out of their minds, trying to break in. She hammered on the door. He tried kicking it, then immediately grabbed his foot in pain. She screamed at him for being useless. They left. I sent the footage to building management. They banned her from the entire property. Then her mother showed up at my workplace. Security escorted her out while she screamed about justice and theft and illegal eviction. HR asked for every piece of evidence I had. They told me if she returned, they'd pursue charges. At that point, I got a lawyer. He said I had solid grounds for a restraining order. I was still thinking about it when my neighbor knocked on my door with his phone out. "Dude," he said, "is this your address?" Melissa had posted my address online with my apartment number and my supposed work schedule, asking if anyone wanted to teach this guy a lesson. That same day, I filed for a restraining order and submitted a harassment report to the police. The night before the hearing, Man Bun showed up alone. He buzzed the intercom. "Dude," he said, sounding tired, "you gotta drop this. She's freaking out." "She posted my address online," I said. "She didn't mean it." "Doesn't matter." "You're ruining her life," he said. "She ruined her own life," I replied. "I just changed my locks." He left. Court was surreal. Melissa showed up wearing a blazer 2 sizes too big, acting like the wrong party. The judge asked if she had any evidence contradicting mine. She didn't. She tried the homeless angle again. The judge shut it down. She tried the emotional turmoil angle. The judge shut it down harder. When the judge got to the part about her posting my address online, his whole demeanor changed. "That," he said, "is extremely serious. Restraining order granted. 1 year. Stay 100 feet away from me, my home, my work." Walking out of the courthouse felt like someone had been squeezing my lungs for weeks and finally let go. 3 weeks later, things calmed down. Mostly, she used friends to text me. Blocked. She had her mother try to contact my mother. Bad idea. My mom shut that down instantly. The consequences finally caught up with her. She lost her job. Not because of me. Because she kept missing shifts, crying at work, ran into coworkers, and refusing to focus. Man Bun dumped her when he realized she had no income, no home, a restraining order, and a mother who micromanaged her existence. She moved back in with that same mother who screamed at me in the lobby. Last week, her old coworker told me Melissa used to brag about living rent-free at my place and how easy it is to manipulate guys. That one stung more than I expected, but the truth helped. It reframed everything. Now, I'm okay. Not great, not perfect, but okay. I repainted the apartment, bought new furniture, got a better lock, started therapy. I learned that when you let someone repeatedly violate boundaries, they start to believe those boundaries never existed. When I finally enforced mine, it set off a chain reaction she wasn't prepared for. Setting boundaries doesn't feel heroic. It feels awful in the moment, messy, loud, emotional, guilt-inducing. But the alternative is letting someone treat your home, your sanity, and your safety like communal property. I refuse to live like that again. My lease ends in 6 months. I'm thinking about a new place, bigger, brighter, with no memories of her banging on the door at midnight. A fresh start. The real win? My apartment is quiet. My phone is quiet. My life is quiet. And I'm the only one with a key.